Hey guys, before we start, a quick shout out to Alpha Dog Nutrition for sponsoring this podcast. Alpha Dog products are now available at dusupply.com, and you can use code ALPHADOG15 at checkout for 15% off and a credit for free shipping to try it yourself. Now let's get you to your podcast.
Welcome to my podcast, where we are going to talk about a lifestyle with dogs and throw in a few life lessons along the way. Whether you're a hound hunter, bird dog enthusiast, running setters, pointers, retrievers, or a flat-out running dog junkie, this podcast is for you. I am your host, Heath Hyatt, a certified law enforcement canine trainer with over 3 decades of personal and professional training and handling experience. It's time for me to pay it forward. So grab your leads, lace up those boots, and come and join me on this lifelong process of teaching, training, and learning. Are you looking to unlock your dog's full potential and give them the best nutrition possible for peak performance? Then look no further. Inukshuk has what you're looking for. Inukshuk's nutrient-dense formulas are crafted to keep your dog's energy high and performance top-notch. Packed with premium proteins and essential fats, Inukshuk delivers the balanced nutrition your dog needs to thrive. From hunting dogs to police canines, Inukshuk is trusted by professionals. Give your dog the power of peak performance with Inukshuk Professional Dog Food. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of What's Up Wednesday, the podcast every hunter who's followed a cold-nosed hound through the woods. I'm Heath Hyatt, your host, and each week we're going to dive into tips, tales, and training tricks to turn your hound into a hunting machine. Whether you're just getting started or you've logged thousands of miles behind your pack, there's something in here for you. So let's get into it. So on a quick note, last weekend was rough in the bear woods. Got after 2 different bear, neither one of them on the tree, stayed on the ground. And I'm not talking big bear either. I'm talking, just a menace of a bear, 100 pounds. And Saturday, I got 3 dogs that had to get stapled up. Nothing major, nothing that was horrible, but enough just to cause you to have to lay the dog up for 10 to 14 days until you can get the staples out of them. But it's such a great thing to have the vet hunting with you, because when I pulled up out of the mountain off the north, as soon as I topped the mountain, I'm on the radio saying, "Hey, Garrett, can you come around here and help me for a minute?" And Garrett and them had treated another bear around the mountain and come around and, help me doctor the wounds up and take care of it, and made it super nice. And I will tell you this is a little tip for your med kits. So I usually carry saline in a bag, and I'll cut the bag and put it into a bottle, and then I'll take a big syringe, and that way if I need to put it up in the holes and wash the holes out from the bite, or where the dogs, whatever's happened, I can use the saline to wash it out. So I use a syringe to do it, and it works okay. But 2 of the guys that was hunting with us, Sam and Shane, I think Sam had a can of saline wash, and it was actually an aerosol can, and you just spray it kind of like hairspray or whatever. You spray it and it'll wash the wound out. He got it from Walgreens. I think it was like $4 or $5 a can. And I will say that after using it on the last dog, because I ran out of saline, that I'm going to go buy Walgreens or CVS. I did find it in Walmart. Walmart it was called Wound Wash, and it was $5.98 a can. I'm going to run by Walgreens or CVS and see if I can find it. They said it may be a little bit cheaper there. But like I said, it was just in a spray can. You could spray it out, wash the wound out really good, and I liked it. It was more convenient. It was easier to use, and I didn't have to carry 3 different things to use it. So that's just a tip. If you're carrying first aid kits, you guys may want to grab some of those. So, so I had to lay the dogs up, which worked out well. Sunday, I just got some holes in some Sunday, nothing major. Cleaned him up, just washing them out with the saline and cleaning them up. Man, my feed bench downstairs, I don't know how everybody else, but I've got like a countertop, some cabinets and everything, and I keep my stuff in it. And it looked like the CVS pharmacy. I mean, I had Celflexin, I had Carprofen. I got one dog that I got on Doxy because she tested positive for Lyme's and anaplasmosis. I bought her. I've had her on preventative ever since I've had her, so I know that it didn't happen here. But giving a Celflexin twice a day to 6 dogs, I mean, that's 12 pills, man. It doesn't take long to drain your supply, but so it's been a chore around the house just maintaining the dogs. So and my dogs needed a rest, and which allowed me to feel better about making the trip up to Richmond, Indiana. So I got asked by Trevor Wade and Alan Gingrich to come up and judge the show. And man, what an honor that was to be invited to such a prestigious hunt. And being able to judge the dogs, the quality of dogs that was up there. And I'll get into that in just a minute. But let's just kind of run through the history of Autumn Oaks. There is a huge significance behind it. Like, this event actually started in 1960. And that was the first time that UKC actually premiered the National Night Hunt and Bench Show. And it's such a big event that it's actually nicknamed the granddaddy of all UKC events. And this is where the National Grand Nights were kind of crowned, right? Your bench shows and your hunt. So Labor Day weekend, it's in Richmond, Indiana. It's the Wayne County Fairgrounds. And it's just a great place to go and enjoy your fellow hunters and talk to people and catch up with people. I've seen people that I hadn't seen in years and got to catch up with them. I'll go through that in just a little bit because I want to talk about that. But, being able to go up there and judge, let's just kind of run down through what we're looking at, right? This is just the night hunt champion. I'm going to give you a couple of them over the last since it started. Let's just go 1960. And you're not going to believe this, but it was a plot dog by the name of Brandenburger's Pioneer Drum. Plot dog won it. And then in 66, you had another dog, Missouri Valley Drum, Trent Walker. And then you get into the Blue Dogs. In 74, you had Dave Dean's Northern Blue Hammer 3. And in 89, you had an English dog come around, right? Dark Shadow Bobby. And then in 93, you had another English dog, is Reynolds' Greedo. And then in 2000, Blue Tick, here we go, Coon Buster, taking it away. And then in 2015, you had another Trent Walker feeling big. And in 2018, another Walker, Dark Side of Schooner River. And 2019, Redneck's Backwoods Shack, another Trent Walker. Now let's get into the show stuff because, this is why I was up there is, you started in 1960 and it was a Redbone, Movie Land's Cherry Drop. And then in 67, had an American Black and Tan, Black Cricket, Hawkins Black Cricket. And then in 70, back to the English dog, West Wind's Blue Dot. And then in 82, Blue Tick, Williams Valley Bell. And in 2002, another Redbone, Sidearms Bear Necessities. And I know if you're showing a Redbone, you know that name. And then in 2005, Bolt Action Murder Rock, Mundar Rock, Trent Walker. And then in 15, Blackberry Jam, another English. And then 2019, Trent Walker, another Trent Walker, Red Eagle Second Wind. And then this year, for the National Grand Night Hunt Champion, it was a dog by the name of Hoosier's Daddy, Walker dog. And I will tell you, I don't know how to feel about this one, but the overall champion, National Grand Night champion for the bench show was Wayne Steele and his little plot dog named Biz, who's won the world show. And after looking at the results and watching the other judges, I'm like, I'm the only one that didn't pick that dog this weekend. Like, I did not. I had an opportunity to pick him on Thursday. And I'll tell you why I didn't. And I liked him. I really liked him. But I picked a Walker dog that Raven Hunt was showing, and she was just muscled up. She was a little bit more toned than he was. It looked like that was the difference. That was my deciding factor. Like, Wayne's dog was super nice, and her dog was super nice. There was a lot of dogs that super nice. Like, you don't really realize the pressure that you're under when you're standing up there and you've got all these high quality dogs standing in front of you, and you're literally going, you're doing your little checklist. Okay, I'm looking at this, I'm looking at this, I'm looking at this, and you're going down each dog and you're checking and you're checking and you're checking. And then you're like, okay, I could pick 4 of these dogs, 5 of these dogs, and not be wrong. So how do I separate which one I'm going to pick? Like, how? And then you kind of just start nitpicking what your likes and your dislikes, or what you put more preference in, or what you put more weight on. But I mean, the hardest part of the show was when we did the generations, which is 3 generations, was hard. The stud dog and the brood bitch, where you had them and then 2 of their offspring, that was super hard. I mean, you had Jason and Katie Woodward showing up plot dogs, and I mean, they're always a staple when it comes to showing. Super nice dogs. Then you had a group of English dogs that were super nice, and then you had a group of Walker dogs that Beth Jenkins and Matt and them, Raven and them, were showing. And then you had a group of black and tans, and I mean, it's like, holy cow, like such quality dogs. And I'm having to go through here and pick. And there's some pressure because you want to get it right. Like, you want to do the best that you can and pick the best dogs. And it's hard when you've got all of those top quality dogs in there, and you want everybody to succeed. Like, that's how I am. Like, I want to pick them all because I want them all to succeed and move forward. And then you have to narrow it down to one, and you're like, golly, like, man, that's tough. Like, I don't want to just pick one. I want to pick. Let me pick 3. At least let me pick 3, right? So it was tough, and I know, like I said, the format was a little different, a little different than normal. But I'm going to tell you a dog that caught my eye, and so they did a puppy class, and 4 to 6, and then we did 6 to 9, 9 to 12. That was our puppy class. Well, Jason Hunter was showing this little puppy, 4 months old, and he called him Magic Sauce. Big blanket back, colored up. I mean, you could not have picked a better dog to put in front of me. Because when I'm looking at a Walker dog, this is the things that I'm looking for. Good blanket back, good brown head, good distance between the ears. The muzzle was right. Good angles in the rear end. Good frame to build on. We're talking about puppies. Good frame to build on. Good bone structure. Good bone quality. And I'm like, wow. Like, man, that's a nice looking prospect, because he's a puppy. He's going to grow. He's going to grow into those things. But man, that dog was tough. Like, for me, like, man, he was really nice. And I mean, there was a lot of nice puppies there, a lot of nice puppies. So the show dog world in the next several years is just getting better and better, from what I see. But I was asked while I was up there judging, like, I didn't know you judge bench shows. When did you start doing this? And I got to thinking, I'm like, when did I start doing this? So I looked back and got thinking about it. And in 1998, shows my age, right? I started doing my apprenticeship under Lindale Price. And they actually had a hunt Thursday night for Lindale. And I got all my stuff under Lindale, and you had to do three. I think we had to do 3 apprenticeships with different master hounds and bench show judges. But Glendale was kind of my mentor, and I got my master hounds and my bench show degrees. That's what you want to call it, under Glendale. And through the years, I've shown at a local level, nothing at that stage. I've made several night or champion, bench show champions and grand champions, and I've made several night champions and grand night champions when I was doing that stuff. But Steve Fielder and I was actually recording a short podcast for Gone to the Dogs, and he asked me, he said, what are you looking for? So if you want to know exactly what I'm looking for, you guys tune into his podcast. But just to give you a little bit of like what goes through my head is, like, I'm into performance. Performance dogs are what I do. With the law enforcement side of it, with the big game side of it. And I'm not saying anything about the coon world. I'm not in that world right this minute. But I want my dogs to be able to run all day if they need to, and they've got to have the running gear and put up right to do that, all the way down to the lung capacity and the feet's got to hold up, bone structure. I want to run them day in and day out, and that's a lot of the stuff that I'm looking at. So, yeah, I'm really looking for that performance type dog, like a dog that I could lay my hands on, take it out here, and hunt it 5-6 days a week. So that's the overall picture. Like I said, it definitely gets broke down into a lot more details than that, but that's what I'm looking at overall. So, and talking about Steve, I ran into Steve and talked to him and Nubbin for a good while Friday morning. I had to leave Friday earlier than I wanted to. I wanted to stay and hang out, but go back to the Autumn Oaks as the event as a whole. Like, campers, there was campers where people were camping with their families. I don't know how many times kids come by me in golf carts and bicycles and electric scooters and you name it. Like, it was there. Like, they had it. And, I rolled up in there Wednesday night and I went and eat dinner with Bryce and Nikki Matthews. Bryce is a good friend of mine. And they had their little anniversary get together over at I guess it was Matt and M's tent. I'm not 100% sure whose tent we was at, but man, they had a spread going on there. Like, whoo, that's some good eating. But just a community in the dog world. Let's just say dog world. And I know this is coonhound related, but like just the community, the people. After every show that I picked a winner, numerous people out of that was competing against each other went up and congratulated them. And if you look on like all the people's posts or UKC post, it's congratulations, well deserved. That's awesome for the sport. It's awesome for the sport that we are cheering on our competition. And I know, because I get so frustrated with the horse show world. My daughter shows horses and she'll have a really good ride, very, very few mistakes, if any. Sometimes, in fact, our last show, we were up in Lexington and man, her horse was hitting a lick and never broke, never stepped out. He looked really, really good. And every horse that was picked in front of her, like the horse that won it actually bucked in the back corner and about threw the kid off. But the judge had his back turned and never seen it. So it's just one man's opinion. Like it's one person's opinion and what their preference is or what they like that day. And, all the competitors on Thursday, and I didn't even get a chance to go in there Friday, but everybody was congratulating everybody and showed such good sportsmanship. And like I said, you read their post and everybody's congratulating everybody. That's what makes the hunting, that show, the hunting world really good. And we need to have more of it, especially in the big game side of it, because the big game side of it is completely different, than anything else. After, I think in between the break or after the show, I was standing there and Jackie Carpenter came over and talked to me. I haven't seen her in years. Very big in the plot association. In fact, when I was very involved in it, she was the vice president, and it was so good to see her and be able to talk to her for a few minutes. And my friends from Canada, Luke and Crystal and Sean and Dave and JP, all those guys were there, and got to hang out with them Thursday or Wednesday evening and Thursday evening. I even went back. I bought a couple dog houses and set them at their camper and went back and picked them up Friday morning before I left. It's kind of like I hate leaving home because it's their bear season. I want to be out. I want to be running my dogs. You guys hear me fuss all the time. I only got 60 days right here to do it. But one of the things that I learned this past week is even when the weather's good, everything's clicking right along. I didn't have 3 dogs to even go, and I done run them down where I've been running them every day, so they needed a break. So even out of that 60 days, you take away family obligations and kids' volleyball games, which we're going to nonstop, and everything else. It really cuts down on your days that you can be productive. And for me to take out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to go up there, it's a big deal for me because, like I said, I need to be running my dogs. I need to be, getting my dogs where they need to be and working on the problems that I'm having or the little issues or the tweaks or whatever I'm trying to work out at home. So, that's to show you how important, going up there and judging the show after they asked me to do it was to me, is to miss a couple of days of my hunting, which was good for my dogs to rest. So it all worked itself out. I think the good Lord's like, hey, I'm going to make this easy on you, Heath. Your dogs are tired. You need to rest them for a couple of days. Go ahead and take your trip, and we'll make up for it next week. So that's actually kind of how I felt that things were looking over to me. I run into Josh Bacalus, talked to him for just a second while Steve and I were chit-chatting. But yeah, like it's such a great event. And like I said, it's the granddaddy. It's the granddaddy of them all. But it was an honor. I am thrilled to be involved in such a prestigious event that my name actually come up, and they thought that I could do a good enough job to come and represent UKC and Autumn Oaks. And I hope there's many more down the line. I talked to a lot of other people that I saw. I can't remember everybody's name. Sorry, I'm horrible with them, but it was good. I'm kind of rambling on about that. It was good. It was a good thing to be. It was a good thing to be at. I'm going to give you a tip though. I seen something going on, and I don't know if you hunters will take it that serious or not. But as a police canine handler, it's very important to us. So one of the dogs was taking the lead and putting it in his mouth. Right, not a big deal. He's a puppy, no big deal. And I actually said, hey, you fix this real easy. Just take you a little squirt bottle, put some lemon juice in it, and when that dog goes to put the lead in his mouth, squirt, 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 and he will leave that lead alone. And why that's important to me is because if in the police world, if that dog starts to bite that lead or come up that lead, the next thing he's going to get is the guy holding the lead. So it's very important for us to stop that immediately. In the hound world, we don't have to really worry about our dogs like turning and grabbing us. It just doesn't happen that much, or if any at all. Like I said, I've not had it happen with any of mine. But just a little tip there, something I seen over the weekend, and like it will fix your problem in no time, especially if you guys are showing or having problems with a dog that's wanting to. I guess it would be puppies more so than anything, because once they get a little older, I don't really see hounds fighting the lead like that, where the police dogs are geared just a little different in that manner. So Anyway, puppies galore. Man, there was pens of puppies, nice looking pups. And I don't care what breed it was. I mean, there was Walkers and English and Blue Ticks. Whoever had the pups out front, in the with the gate that they actually had locked, they had 2 pens of pups there. Man, and one pens were really, really nice. They're puppies, or the English dogs, the younger English dogs. They looked really, really nice. There was Blue Ticks. There was dogs for sale. Man, get himself in trouble going to something like that if he spent too much time looking. If he kept walking by something, he'd be like, "Yeah, I don't think I need another dog." And then you walk by again, you'll be like, "Yeah, maybe." And then you stop and talk to him about the dog. And then the next time you stop talking to him about the bloodline. And then the next thing you know, you're picking up a puppy and taking it home with you. I could not afford to do that. So I did not spend a whole lot of time checking these pups out because I did not need another one. But anyway, that was kind of our trip to Odd Oaks. Give you a little bit about it. Again, thank you, UKC. Thanks, Trevor and Alan, for inviting me up. Danielle for helping me out. Like I said, there was a lot going on when you had 3 dogs of each breed, and you had like 36 dogs in there, and you were trying to run through all 36 of them for the handler. Sorry, it took me a little bit longer. I was just trying to process all of it and pick. So everybody done a wonderful job. Such a great group of dogs. And I'm sorry I couldn't pick you all, because if I could, I definitely would. But if you guys like the podcast with male versus female, you're going to want to join us for next week's podcast. I'm not going to give it away, but it's going to be another good one. It's going to be a great debate. And I've actually thought about it. Like, I know what I prefer. I know what I'm kind of doing in between, and you're not going to want to miss with this one. So that's a wrap for this week's What's Up Wednesday. Thank you for tuning in and walking the trail with me. If you got something out of today's episode, be sure to like and follow, share with a fellow handler, leave a review. Until next time, we'll see you at the tree.
Tailgate drops before the light, coolers packed and the rig sitting right. Tracking collars charged, beeping green, boots in the bed and the rifle's clean. Dog box rattling, engines hum, we're chasing bear till the day is done. Old ring barking like he knows what's near, nose to the wind, tail full of cheer. From the Virginia mountains to the Carolina clay, we're burning fuel and miles each day. Every turn's another tale, through mountain mist and paper trails. We see the sunset red in Tennessee, rise through the fog in old WV. North Carolina's pines echo loud with the cry of a hard-run hound. New York forest, Maine's deep snow, Vermont valleys where the black bears go. Truck keeps rolling, wheels don't care. We're chasing daylight, chasing bear. Rest stops few, the roads are long, but the fire in our hearts still burns strong. Wisconsin mornings cutting crisp and clear, Canada's wildwoods drawing near. Still got states we ain't run, but that hound dog fever won't let us quit. We see the sunset red in Tennessee, rise through the fog in old WV. North Carolina's pines echo loud with the cry of a hard-run hound. New York frost, Maine's deep snow, Vermont valleys where the black bears go. Truck keeps rolling, wheels don't care. We're chasing daylight, chasing bear. Gas station coffee, Alpha XL on the dash. Another back road, another bear track. Friends made fast and stories told slow. Under stars where only hunters go, we see the sunrise gold in Canadian air. And it sets on a trail down in Appalachia. Packing steel and leather, grit and care, we're built for the road and chasing bear. So load the dogs and slam the gate. There's a trail ahead, we won't be late. From dawn to dusk, we're always there. Chasing daylight, chasing them bears.